So, why is it important for it to be not legal to spy on people? Because if you're allowed to spy on people, then you're allowed to set people up. So basically, these people have got access to ridiculous amounts of power. If they can spy on Trump or any president or prime minister, then you've got to think about what power do they have. They have the power. They have more power than the president. So that means democracy is out the window. Us voting for Trump, unless Trump's prepared to be killed, which he is, but that's not the point. The point is, if somebody does get in that can be compromised, then there's no point in having democracy, because there's a level above that can set people up. So these people are setting people up. They're already doing it. They've been doing it for years. Before they could hack into phones, whoever his name was, he used to wiretap. So I've heard people say, well, if you've got nothing to hide, then you've got nothing to lose. Well, that's what Joseph Goebbels said, Hitler's right-hand man and a propaganda expert. Because he knew that spying on elites was the key. He knew that was the key to everything. He knew that was where the political power came from. Well, I think it was Mao that said, political power comes out the barrel of a gun. Well, that was 100, 200 years ago. Now, these are the weapons, the cameras. Now political power comes out the lens of a camera. Why? Why can it come out the lens of a camera? Because they can, if they know your moves and they know your routine, they can plant stuff. So they can kill you in a sense. and most of all, they can plant stuff. So, you know, they just put like a prostitute in your room. You walk into that room, and then a photo of you and that prostitute is taken, and then they say, well, if you, or you know, whatever, they can plant child porn on your computer, and if you don't follow their orders, which will be for the benefits of them and them only, then you will be set up, and they'll threaten you with all sorts of things. Well, what's the answer to that? Everybody needs to stop being scared of death. Don't be scared of dying, don't be scared of anything but God, which is good, being ethical, standing for the right thing. Because once we have no fear, because the elites know, they know that we are infinite beings. They know that we never die. So they have no fear. But if they can put us in fear, then they can have all the fruit of this life. So, like I was saying in a video before, we need to all start wearing suits and ties. And we need to all stop being so scared. We need to all, these are the answers of the universe. We need to all start getting healthy, drinking plenty of water. You know, sometimes I just eat bread and noodles all day. It costs me like 25p to eat all day. The water's free out the tap. I drink shitloads of, not shitloads where I'm going to drown myself, but I drink loads of water, and I have a few cups of coffee and a few cups of tea. You have unlimited resources at your disposal. Stop wasting your money on cocaine, and which the government ships in and makes money off, which damages your tissue, damages your health. Stop wasting your money on stuff that makes you feel like shit mentally and physically, and start, even if you're not going to make a change, start trying, and trust me, you will. So one thing, why is there like acreage of storage in the NSA and GCHQ? Because that is the democracy nowadays. That's the power. Power in us anymore. Voting. Fuck voting. What we need to do is we need to start, you know, making serious steps on this spying thing. Maybe it is, you know, maybe you do need to vote to get these people in, but we need to, the first thing we need to do is get our democracy back by stopping GCHQ spying on us, stopping the NSA storing all our data. Because they store it. Why do they store it? Because if, say for instance, somebody out of nowhere starts getting a massive following, and becomes a threat to the establishment, they can dig up that data just by typing your name into a search engine. That's where Google came from. That's what they have, but they have like a massively more sophisticated Google. So, you know, we type in Google now like whatever, say David Beckham, and a few news articles come up and you have to do your research to find out who that person is, and you know, other stuff will be sort of like mixed in with it. So you have to do your research. With these systems they've got now, you don't have to do any research. You type in David Beckham and you type in like David Beckham and then put a keyword at the end of it, like let's say New York, and then every single time David Beckham has said New York will come up. Every single time David Beckham has flew to New York, all his flights to and from New York. You're wondering how I know this. I know this because it's in all the films. And these sick bastards need to tell you what they're actually doing to you and the technology they actually have to justify killing you. And that's just they're in denial. They're just lying to themselves because they're dumbing us down first. So they don't have the moral high ground, which they think they do, because they have already made that first punch. And like I said before in these videos, once the first punch is thrown, the first, you know, the person that offensively attacks always loses.